Fate's gonna be picking the books. Purple. Hopefully I really want to tackle this TBR. But yeah. Hello my friends, welcome to my channel Discover with Kim. I'm Kim. I'm so excited you're here with me today. Welcome to this week's book vlog. This week we are going to prep for my summer reading challenge. So let's get into it. So I've decided that this summer I'm going to do a reading challenge for myself in which I'm going to tackle my entire physical TBR, or at least as much as my entire physical TBR list as I can. TBR being to be read list. So I own a lot of books right now that I haven't read that I've kind of accumulated over the years, and I want to read them. I know that there's going to be a lot of really good books in there, and I obviously own them because I intend to read them. So this summer I am going to challenge myself to take on my physical TBR and get them all read, but I'm doing it with a bit of a twist. I'm going to wrap the books up and I'm going to be using a TBR jar to pick them. So I'm not going to be picking the books, Fate's going to be picking the books. So basically, this challenge is going to have several stipulations. The first is going to be that all the books are going to be wrapped up, which we are going to be doing today together. So I'm going to wrap up all the books, so I don't know what book I am choosing, but I'm going to use different wrapping papers for different types of books so that I can pick them based off the TBR prompts. I'm also going to be taking these books, I'm going to group them into categories. I'm going to wrap them up based on these categories, which is why I have those different types of papers. And I'm going to be making prompts, little written prompts I'm going to be putting in a jar so that I can pull the prompt out, and then I'll be picking the book based off of that prompt and then based off the wrapped book. So I'll be going based off whatever the prompt says, and then I'll be going based off just picking one of the wrapped books that meets that prompt, unwrapping it, and that's the book that I'm going to be reading. I'm going to be making these prompts just based off the categories that I do when I organize my books before I wrap them. So that's going to be our first step. We are going to we are going to do a summer reading TBR on top of our book reading challenge. This seems silly, but there is a big reason for this. One, there's some books that I really just want to read this summer, and I don't want to completely leave it up to fate based on this game, and I already own these books, so these aren't going to be books that I'm buying. These are going to be books that I already own, and I just want to have them as options for myself without them being wrapped up. In addition, I am such a mood reader, that if I pick a book and I am just not in the mood for it, there's a good chance that I just won't read. So if that happens, I want to give myself a spare chance that I can keep reading. So what I can do is I can go and I can pick one book from my summer TBR, and I will read that book either while I'm reading the other book, or I'll read it and then I'll go back to the other book. But that way I get to, one, read the books I want to read this summer, and I get to kind of help myself with the whole fact that I'm a mood reader and it can really screw up my reading. So this way it's kind of like a little protection for myself where I still get to read, and I still get to read the summer books I want to read, but I also get to take on my TBR this summer. So that's what we're going to do together first. We're going to pick out our summer TBR, and then we're going to organize all our books into categories. We're going to decide what our prompt categories are going to be. We're going to wrap our books up. We're going to make our TBR prompt jar, and then we're going to get ready to start our summer reading challenge. So let's get into all the fun, and let's start by picking our summer TBR together. Before we pick my summer TBR, I do want to just make a little fun note about the challenge. So to incite myself or to motivate myself to do this challenge and to stick with it, I am, one, putting myself on a book buying ban for the time being because I own so many books that I need to read. I need to stop buying more books. And two, I just need to stop spending money on books for the time being. So I'm putting myself on a book buying ban. But I'm making it fun so that every 4 books I read during this challenge, not from my summer TBR, but from this challenge that I unwrap and I read to completion, I get to go and I get to get a book buying credit. So either I can go buy a book right away, or I can keep tally and I will have so many book buying credits for whenever I get to go shopping or there's a sale or something. So for every 4 books that I read, I get the 5th one where I get a credit to buy a book. So that way I motivate myself to actually read these books, and then I still kind of get to treat myself a little bit along the way, because going like months and months without buying a book, it's going to be really hard for me. I'm going to do my best, but if I earn them, then I feel like I can feel good about buying them, and then I get to buy a book. So it's kind of like a win-win there. A little bit of motivation and a little bit of fun in it, while also saving myself money and not buying a ton of more books before I can even get my TBR down. Because I want to get my physical TBR down. Maybe like, I would like to half it. So I'm pretty sure it's over 100 books. So that is a huge challenge to take on. But I would really love to get my TBR like in half. Hopefully by like the end of summer. That seems ridiculous, but my summer challenge, I'm thinking, is going to be June, July, August will be like the full summer challenge, and then I can decide for August or for September I'll probably unwrap the books and do a fall themed kind of challenge. But my summer challenge is going to be June, July, August. I'm going to be tackling my TBR of all my wrapped up books, and I'm going to be doing that prep and everything right now, and hopefully I can get it cut in half. I'll be counting how many books I have, so hopefully I can cut it in half. We'll chat about that towards the end. But yeah, let's get all the prep going. Picked them out, I think. Okay, so I picked out 10 books for my summer TBR. These are gonna be like my palette cleansers or my mood cleansers when either I just need something different or I need a break from my summer TBR challenge, or when I pick a book that I'm just honestly not in the mood to read and I'm gonna try to get myself to read it, but I do need like some options where if I'm just not in the mood, I can kind of set it aside for a bit and read something else. So I picked 10 books, and then I have a couple in the mail that I might add to it. So if I do, I will let you guys know. But for now, we have 10 books that are our summer TBR, and I'm just going to show you them real quick. We have Wild by Cheryl Strayed. We have The Rose Bargain by Sasha Payton Smith. What an Owl Knows by Jennifer Ackerman. This one is a memoir, so it's a nonfiction memoir. This is a nonfiction book about owls. This is a young adult fantasy book. Nightweaver by R.M. Gray. This is a fantasy, romantasy. And then the rest of them are all romance. So we have One Golden Summer by Carly Fortune. We also have This Summer Will Be Different by Carly Fortune. We have The Summer of Broken Rose by K.L. Walter. We have Summer in the City by Alex Astor. Passion Project by London Sperry. And then we have The Griffin Sisters' Greatest Hits by Jennifer Weiner. This one's not romance. This one's like, I don't even know what you consider it. Just literary fiction? Women's fiction, maybe? I don't know, but that is number 10. So those are all the books that I have on my summer TBR that I just chose together with you guys. And honestly, most of them are romances because when I need a palette cleanser or a quick mood read, often I go for romance because, like I said, they tend to be quick, they tend to be easy, they tend to be lighthearted. So I picked a good chunk of romances, and then I picked 2 nonfiction because I enjoy nonfiction, and then I picked 2 like fantasy ones that I just think would be great for the summer. All right, so my summer TBR is all picked, and now we are going to organize my books from my TBR shelves out into categories so that we can make our prompts and then get them all wrapped up. Piles are going well. I'll check in with you guys in a little bit. Okay, so I have my books all organized out into piles. So I have 1, 2, 3, 9 piles maybe? 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I have 9 piles of books. I'll be organizing them into those 9 different categories, and we'll be making prompts based off those categories. And then we're also going to be throwing in a couple extra prompts just for fun that are like not based off the categories, they'll just be fun prompts. The piles are of massively different sizes, so based on like the size of the piles is basically how I'm going to be making the prompts. So like I have a huge pile of like mystery thriller books, so those ones, sorry, Marbles wants to get that. So those ones I'll probably make like 3 of the prompts be like mystery thriller because I have so many of them, I need to get through them. And I have a lot less of like my books that are teeny tiny, less than 300 pages, so like there'll only be one prompt for that. But yeah, so let me go through my categories. This first one is series. So basically I have the entire series, but I haven't read any of them, so it's either a series or duology. That is this category. I'm gonna wrap them all up together, and if I pull out this prompt, I have to tackle an entire series. And then these ones right here, these are just miscellaneous books, so books that kind of don't fit into any other category. This pile, and then all the ones back on that shelf, those are my mystery, thrillers, that kind of book. So those are all those. Over here are just my ones that are my tiny books, less than 300 pages. These ones here are my romance novels that are like standalone, or this one I only have the first one of. These ones are historical fiction novels. Those ones are nonfiction novels. These ones are fantasy novels or romantasy novels that either only the first book is out, or I only own the first book, or they're standalone. And then this final pile is a pile of series that I have started, but I have not finished. So it is a finish the series pile. So those are the 9 categories I'm going to be using for my prompts. I'm going to write them all down. And then, like I said, I'll be adding in a few other prompts just for fun. But those are the main categories that my prompts will be based off of. So let me write them all down. Prompts. We have tackle series. I have a good amount of series, so we're going to be my phone talked to me. No, thank you. I said series. She thinks I said her name. Always listening, literally. But anyways, so tackle a group of books that go together. So whether it be a duology or a longer series. Don't want to activate my phone again, but whether it be just a duology or a longer one, the first one is going to be tackle a group of books. And I'm going to do ×2 because I have a lot of them to tackle. And then next up we have miscellaneous book. And then we have mystery / thriller books. This one I have so many that we're going to have to do it ×3, unfortunately. I'll be reading a lot of mysteries this summer, I think. Then we have small book. That's just going to be ×1 because we have so little. We're going to have romance. I have a good chunk of romance, so we'll do ×2 for that one. We're going to do historical fiction. We're going to do nonfiction. We're going to do fantasy. We're going to do finish a series. Didn't activate that time. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That makes for 9 categories, like I said. And then the tackle a series, the mystery thriller, and the romance are the ones that are the biggest. I also have a lot of fantasy, so I'm going to put ×2 for fantasy. So tackle a series, romance, and fantasy are all going to be ×2. Mystery thriller is ×3, and then miscellaneous book, small book, historical fiction, nonfiction, or finish a series all ×1 because I have less in those files. So those will be the categories that my prompts are going to be based off. And then we're going to add in a couple extra just for fun. Those are the categories we're in. And then next up, we are going to have to pick out which paper we want to do for each, and we're going to wrap them up. So that'll be fun. And it'll probably take forever. That's going to be like what made me question if I wanted to do this. Because like I think it's going to be so fun, but the idea of having to wrap them all, I'm going to regret it like 10 books in, guarantee. But oh well, that's the fun of it. It is now time to wrap them up. This is going to take forever. Oh, but we gotta get done. So I have 7 new papers here, and as you know I had 9 categories, so obviously 7, 9 don't match up, but go ahead up, Marble. But never fear, I have a game plan. I have some wrapping paper here, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use these 7 for the 7 like smaller categories that I have. So I will pick them out now with you guys, and then for my thriller / mystery and for my completed series 2 categories, I'm gonna use like paper I already own, so old paper, or it's probably gonna be Christmas paper, but hey, we gotta do what we gotta do. So we got 7 different ones here. Let me show you them. Blue, purple. This one's like, it's birthday, but it's like, it has a lot of fun, like it says hooray and best day ever, and it has like hats and confetti and rainbow. Orange. We have this beautiful silver. I love that one. It has cakes on it, and it says let's eat cake. Balloons on it. So we just went to the dollar store. Let me tell you, the pickings were very, very slim. Extremely slim, but It's actually $1.25 store now too, by the way, but we got those 7, and then we're gonna categorize them, and then we'll use the other ones. We'll just do Christmas paper or paper I have. But we're gonna start with these ones because, let's be honest, I'm not gonna be able to wrap all these books tonight because I counted them up and there's a lot. Check out next week's book vlog if you want to know how many, but there's a lot. Spoiler alert, there's a lot. So I'm gonna start wrapping tonight, get however far I can, and then I'll probably finish like this weekend. But we'll do what we can. So we're kind of gonna do it based on like how much paper is on the rolls, because this one has very not much. So we'll do it how much paper is on the rolls based on like how big the stacks are, and then we'll also do it based on vibes, like vibes of the category. So the first one is going to be the silver one. There's not very much on this at all, so this we're going to use for my small books. This one has a good chunk, and like it's fun and vibey, so I think this one would be good for romance books because I feel like they're usually light and like fun and like whimsical, so I think this one would be fun. The ones that are just categories, we'll do this. So we have nonfiction, historical fiction, and miscellaneous. So we're thinking nonfiction, historical fiction, miscellaneous. So miscellaneous will be blue. And then we have 2 more left. We have balloons that say yay, and we have the cakes that say let's eat cake, and we have either fantasy or finish a series, which is also mostly fantasy. So that kind of actually works out really well. So I'm going to say balloons are going to be fantasy, finish a series is going to be cake. No. Cake's going to be fantasy, finish a series is going to be balloon. Which we'll see if I have enough. If I run out, then we'll improvise. But that is the cheat sheet for now, and we are going to go from there. So I'm going to start wrapping. I'm going to get as far as I can today. Like I said, the other categories, and if I run out of stuff, I'll just use wrapping paper that I have and we'll adapt. But for now, we'll start wrapping and we'll get done what we can today. Probably, hopefully get done maybe a category or 2. And then we'll go from there. So I'm excited. Let's start wrapping. Friends, I'm so dumb. My beautiful, beautiful silver paper. It's clear. It's clear. It's cello wrap. It's cello wrap. It's not silver paper. This made me so sad. Put such a damper in my plans. And I feel dumb. And I feel dumb. Excuse me. I need that. No more. Okay, my friends, so as you saw, I got all my books wrapped up, and whew, it took so much longer than I expected it to. Well, I ended up having so many more books than I thought I did. Like, when I first came up with this challenge and I decided I wanted to do it, I was like, okay, cool. And then I started doing it, and I counted all my books, and I realized that I have so many books, and I have so many more books than I thought I did. So it definitely took longer to wrap and more wrapping paper to wrap than I expected it to. So I had to pull out some of like my reserves that I have just like on hand at home. So some of it's Christmas paper, but that's okay because who cares? It's all gonna get unwrapped and read anyways, and then recycled. Don't worry. But I got all my wrapping done, and then I made my jars. So we have the bowl that has the first prompts in them. This has like our main prompts in them that we're going to be pulling from. And then we also have the little jar, and these are extra prompts so that when I pull the main prompt, if I need like some help picking out my books out of the wrapped ones, I'll pull a second prompt and we'll go from there. But yeah, so we have our prompts all made, we have our books all wrapped. Do you want me to go through what they are? We'll go through them quickly, just real quickly. So we have, if I can remember, I have sticky notes. Okay. We have miscellaneous. These are finish a series. Down here we have my short ones, my little like short books. These ones are all fantasy books. Down here we have historical fiction, and then we have nonfiction. And then down here, all of this whole shelf is mystery thriller. Over here we have, these ones are tackle a whole series, so I wrapped up this first book in the series, and then like the extra books are just down here, so like I'll unwrap the first book, so I won't be able to tell what the series is because it's just one book. I'll unwrap the first book and then we'll tackle the whole series. And then I also have my romance novels right here. And finally we have my summer TBR, which I showed you earlier, and we have the May TBR that I'm trying to finish. So that is where we're at. I made myself a little cheat sheet of like my summer reading challenge, and then I have a way to record the books I read so I can see all the ones I read, and maybe I'll write down like my ratings and stuff. And then I just have like a cheat sheet for my wrapping so I know what each wrapping paper is. But yeah, so I have my challenge all prepped and all set up. I have my books all counted. So if you're curious to know what books are on my TBR and how many there are, check out next week's video, because next week I'll be posting the video that I'm going to show you every single book on my physical TBR, and then we'll count them up and I'll tell you how many there are and how many I'm going to be tackling for this summer. But that will be next week, so check that out next Tuesday. But for now, I have my summer challenge all prepped. I do plan to start it on June 1st, and then I will go all the way through the end of August, so through August 31st. I'm going to be trying to read as many books as I can. Hopefully I get a lot done because, well, I really want to tackle this TBR. But yeah, I have my summer challenge all prepped. I'm all ready to tackle my entire physical TBR this summer and see how many books I can get read. I'm so excited to bring you guys along with me and to take on this challenge because you guys are my accountability. You're making sure that I actually get it done. So I'm so excited to do that. So yes, look forward to that. I will have updates of my book challenge probably every other week, give or take, and we'll kind of go through me picking different books, reading the books, talking about them, talking about how the challenge is going, and all the fun bits. But yeah, that is my summer reading challenge prep. I'm so excited to take on this challenge. I'm so excited to do it with you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm so curious to know what you guys are reading this summer. Let me know in the comments below. Do you have a summer TBR? Are you kind of going with the flow? Are you taking on your physical TBR like I am? Let me know in the comments below, and let's chat all things book. Make sure you hit subscribe so you can check out my entire summer reading challenge and keep up with me as I continue to take on my TBR. And hit like because I hope you liked this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have a fabulous week. Live well, read some books, and go discover. Bye, friends.